This video is aimed at my Year 4-5 class, and we will be finding fractions of amounts using bar models to help solve problems. Okay, so like the last bar models video I made, I'm going to show you a little demo of how we should do this. And this is revision, we've done this before. And then I'll put some questions on my page of the website. And the fastest way to get there is tinyurl.com/Smailes. So there'll be lots of questions on there for you to have a go. So the first one is 1/3 of 24. So we are finding a fraction, a part of a whole, and the whole is worth 24. So when we draw our bar, first thing we're going to ask ourselves is, how many equal parts do I split it into? I'm looking at the denominator in the fraction, it's in thirds, so I need to split into 3 equal parts here. And each one of those, it's worth an amount, but that fraction there is a third, so I'm just going to label it like that. Now the whole amount, I'm going to annotate up here as 24. So this is all the information we have so far, 1/3 of 24. So we've got it split into thirds and the whole is worth 24. Now if I've got 24 and it's split into 3 equal parts, I need to think to myself, what is 24 divided by 3? And when I've been doing this in lessons, I've been putting it in the thought bubble, so we know that's the part where we have to do it mentally. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so each part there is worth 8. So we know that that part is 8, that part is 8, and that part is 8, the whole is 24. Now, just to check back at the question, how many thirds do we want? We want 1/3, so I'm going to colour in 1/3. So to answer our question, 1/3 of 24 is 8. So our answer here is 8. And that's how I've been asking you to set it out in your book, so that's absolutely fine to carry on doing that while you're learning from home. Next one is a little bit harder. We're going to go for 3/4 of 32. So just like we did before, when we draw the bar, first thing we ask ourselves is, how many equal parts do we split this bar into? I'm looking at the fraction, the denominator tells me how many equal parts, 4. So I'm going to do 4 equal parts. As neat as I can because I don't have square paper. And obviously quarters are labelled. Don't be tempted to do 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 like you're counting. We are saying that that part there is worth 1/4, that part there is 1/4 as well. Then after we've labelled our bar, after it's been split up in equal parts, the whole is 32. So now we need to fill in the value of each part. We need to think 32 is split up into 4 equal parts, so that means I'm thinking of 32 divided by 4. That's what I'm thinking of in my head. 32 divided by 4, as a coincidence for the last one, is 8 as well. So each part has a value of 8 in the bar. Now last thing, we need to look back at our fraction. How many quarters do we need? This time it's 3/4. So we're not just going to shade in 1, we're going to shade in 3 of the quarters. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 shaded in. How much have I shaded in? 8, add 8, add 8. I have shaded in 24. So my answer to 3/4 of 32 equals 24. There are a lot of numbers that are not very many numbers, in fact, coming up. So this one's a bit of a different one, and hopefully this will make sense as well. Next one, 5/6 of 30. I draw my bar like I do for all bar model questions, and I ask myself, how many equal parts am I splitting it up into? Looking at the denominator of the fraction, and it is 6, so 6 equal parts. To draw this, I'm going to go 2 equal parts, and then each of those has got 3 equal parts. Therefore, 6 equal parts. And each of those is showing me a 1/6. So I'm labelling it with 1/6 each time, just to remind myself and to keep that fraction in my head. Because when I'm switching from question to question, I might get the numbers a bit jumbled. The whole is worth 30. All of this information is from our question. So far, we're just literally drawing it out, what we've got there. Now we need to work out the value of each part. So if I'm thinking the whole thing is 30, split up into 6 equal parts, I'm thinking in my head 30 divided by 6, and that is 5. So each part is worth 5 here. And obviously when I'm saying do these in your heads, I'm expecting you to be using that times tables knowledge that I see you do on times tables rock stars when we've got the divisions in as well. And if we are struggling with this, we are going to be counting on our fingers or singing the songs. This is not something that I expect needs to be written out. If you're using bar models at this stage, it should be mentally. So now we've shown that each part of the bar is worth 5 and the whole thing is worth 30. How many sixths do we need? Question tells me 5 sixths. So colouring in 5 of the parts. So it's 5 add 5 add 5 add 5 add 5, 5 lots of 5 equals 25. So the question says 5 sixths of 30 and our answer is 25. So I will now put some questions onto the website, and just don't forget, easiest way to get there is tinyurl.com/Smailes, and have a go. The next video will be working with fractions and bar models, probably improper fractions, so trying to follow the same sequence of lessons that we have been doing. Okay, enjoy.